Anyway. Ulfar, my big hunky man. And you, companion, how are you?
Let us raise our cups et vater, in honor of deeds accomplished and in expectation of those yet to come.
I'm still not sure how to imitate his voice, because I tried that before setting up today's stream, and it always sounds very close to how I do Edward, and, well... What do you call me, the Eight Fetter?
This is the name given on Fenris to a pack father, a commander or captain. An et fater answers to a jarl, the commander of a great company. Since you are the one who commands your crew, and I follow you at present, I am granting you the honored title of et fater.
I mean, in the end, that's just like Vater, or whatever, however he pronounced that, is just the German word for father. But so just a title.
You, of course, are a maiden, not a father. But we have no word meeting maiden commander in our tongue, as all space wolves are men.
Aren't I a man too? Is it a bug? Or something space wolves just say? Ulfar suddenly frowns and adds haltingly, well, I guess, thank you for this honor.
Be worthy of it, and see that you do not disgrace this glorious rank.
Still wonder why I'm maiden commander. Oh well. Anyway. So, how are you planning on getting out of here?
I have had a
Maiden
few
asks.
thoughts on that score, but don't try to pry them out of me. When the time comes, I will share them with you.
Don't you think it would be smarter to be like on the same page? Am I not your maiden commander or something? Is it the mod that lets you romance Heinrix? I don't know how it works. At least how I understood the mod letting me romance Heinrix is just allowing preventing the gender restriction to take effect. It shouldn't change my gender. But I don't know. I mean, so far everyone else used the correct pronouns for us. Also, like the narrator stuff, it's always he. So, I don't know. Maybe it's just Ulfar. Maybe, I don't know, Space Wolves are the only man in their opinion. Despite his worthy attempt to play the fool, the Space Wolf cannot deceive you. Ulfar does not fully trust you and is carefully observing your reaction. I mean, I just saved you and got you out of the Arc Mechanicator's cells, but sure. You know, how about you tell me about your brothers, the Space Wolves?
Not everyone is granted the right to ask such questions. But you... I shall allow it. What do you want to know about the Astartes from the glorious Fenris?
It is kind of sad that Jai is not here. I don't think she would intercept or something, because this game doesn't work like that. But I guess if a Space Marine would call Edward a maiden commander, Jai would never let him forget that. Like, would always joke about that. How about we begin with the basics? Who are the Space Wolves?
Vilka Fenrika. That is our name in the old tongue of our world. We are the fiercest of the All-Father's warriors. His executioners. His retribution.
I wonder how many Space Wolves were captured by the Drukhari. And I mean, how they captured them. Not the easiest people to take prisoner.
Our fearless Wolf King is Leman Russ, son of the All-Father. Our world is Fenris, and our home the Fang, which rises from the world's spine into orbit. We are the thunder in the bloody storm of battle that calls to us. That is who we are.
Very proud, but it doesn't really answer the question. Ulfar's rumbling voice seems to reverberate in your very bones. Well, glory to the world of Fenris. The wolves of Fenris. Smiling in satisfaction, the wolf graces you with a magnanimous nod.
But there is more to our spirit than grim destruction alone. In the Hall of Heroes, we hold feasts the likes of which you will see nowhere else. To thundering laughter, we raise our horns, tell our sagas, and honor our glorious fallen.
I mean, I do not know too much about 40K lore outside of this game. I wonder if all Space Marines are like that. I don't know, Marazhai, do you know more about that? Because I mean, at least the Space Wolves and Ulfar really sounds like having lots of Viking energy. Are like all Space Marines like that, or is it just that chapter?
Though the body of an Astartes is built to be immune to the effects of drink, we invented a way around this taboo. The mjod we brew can overcome even our blood. It makes us drunk, and makes our feasts jovial occasions.
Priorities.
You can brew it nowhere else but on good old Fenris. No other world is home to such poisonous plants.
The good stuff. So, Fenris, what is it like?
Fenris is home. A harsh land of harsh winters and harsh people. When comes the Hell Winter, a fearsome season of frosts, the merciless world sea freezes, and great white bears, snow worms, and ice trolls go on the hunt. Then the murderous frost retreats, and boats of harpooners sail out to ply their craft, capturing sea snakes and krakens.
I would love to say that sounds horrible, but I mean, compared to Komorra, where we currently are, that sounds like a holiday location.
And then comes the season of fire. Volcanoes awaken. Waves wash over whole islands, and only the land of Asaheim offers salvation to those whose blood and grit win them the right to live upon it. Clan fights clan, crows circle over battlefields, and wolf howls rise up to the sky. That is my beloved home. There is no place in the universe like it.
Really sounds like a special place.
Tell me, Edfator, what is the most fearsome foe on Fenris?
Wily glint appears in Ulfar's eyes. No, now we have to say... Snow worm? Ha! Lore Imperium test succeeded. You mentally go through the list of the deadliest creatures on Fenris, but your thoughts seem to settle on one strange name, Wrath Badger. You've read about this animal, a small and ferocious creature about which is very little known. Did he even mention that? Bears, snowworms, ice trolls. I just wanted to say he didn't mention that. Just so smart. Or we're just very lucky looking at that roll. I'm quite sure the Wrath Badger.
No, you are... What? Why the Wrath Badger?
Was it a trick question? Is it like, we can now just invent how ferocious and horrible that thing is, because he doesn't know about it?
You know, little's known about it. That means hunters fear to encounter it, and is the most dangerous.
Very good. I hope to tell you about the black curse of the Wolfen, but your answer wasn't bad either. Wrath Badger.
Kinda sounds cute though, like a small little badger which is just really upset.
I still wish to hear about the curse of the Wolfren, though.
The curse of the Wolfen is the most fearsome and most terrible foe on Fenris. In the heart of every brother, there lives a dark beast, bloody and forever ravenous. He hungers to kill, not for glory or duty, or his battle brothers, but solely for the sake of killing. For he who falls to that dark beast, there is no joy or thrill in slaughter. There is but dull rancor.
But I love how Ulfar is very good in answering without answering. Like, what is it? Is it like just another word for like chaos or heresy? Is it like something metaphysical? Is it something magical or Psyker powers? Or is it actually a beast? Because the curse part really sounds like it's something, I don't know.
In icons, I've seen Astartes look much less wild.
Our gene seed is unique. Lehman Ross blessed us with the Canis Helix, a genetic gift that heightens our senses, making them sharper than those of brothers from other chapters. The Canis Helix kindles a bloodthirst in our hearts and changes our appearance to resemble the lethal wolves of Fenris.
So it makes them more primal. And I mean, hence the name Canis.
Gotta say, for Space Marine chapter, you are far from orthodox.
The wolves do not take orders from outsiders. We keep the old ways, not the Codex Astartes. We fight in packs,
Heresy.
and we are trained and healed by our wise rune and wolf priests. We do not find honor in adorning ourselves in laurels, but instead etch the full names of our fallen kin as a promise of vengeance, and draw strength from that promise.
But so from what we gathered so far, I think it's the Space Wolves are like the Vikings. Space Vikings.
So, what do you believe in?
We believe in the great wolves, in the deadly Black Men and fierce Drakan the Thunderwolf, in redoubtable Hagar the Mountain Wolf, and in the Blooded Hunter.
Sounds pretty Nordic,
The
right?
wolf that stalks between stars, who follows us wherever we may go. And in the uncanny two-headed Morkai, guard of the realm of the dead. Only the great wolves show us their favor. The others are more malign, but each teaches us a lesson. For that, we praise and honor them.
Those are many gods. Does that mean you do not believe in the immortal emperor of humanity as a god?
The All-Father is not a god.
Ooh.
He is the best of all humans, our perfect forebear.
Sounds like heresy, pretty
His
much.
blood flowed through the veins of Lehman Ross, and Ross's blood flows in me. Does that make me a god? My respect for him has no end, and I am ready to die for him. But what place does faith have here? Is the All-Father like the massive Iron Wolf, whose every tuft of fur forms a mountain on the surface of Fenris?
Interesting. Like, especially from Space Marines, I didn't expect that to be so undogmatic, at least regarding the Emperor.
Or is he as enormous as the Sun Wolf, which rises to hunt every morning and fills our world with light? The All-Father is not a god, but the highest of humanity. Ordinary humans struggle to grasp this. But we, his warriors and offspring, remember the truth.
And I mean, that's the other thing, remembering the truth. I mean, the Emperor never wanted to be, like, head of a church or head of a religion. He wanted to de-establish all religions. So I think maybe that's the reason why the Space Marines, or at least this chapter of the Space Marines, don't see him as a god. But at least in the current Imperium, it seems very heretical. Interesting. I like that. Yeah, we can also react to that. A different faith, but the same old idiocy. I never really thought about how Edward sees the Imperium. I mean, he's pretty much iconoclast, so definitely not dogmatic. I don't know if he would go and, like, oppose the Emperor as a god. Because, I mean, that's very dangerous to do. Maybe not the smartest move. I mean, in Gomorrah, what could happen?
I also believe that the Emperor is a man and not a god.
It makes his deeds all the more glorious. Battling gods is child's play when you yourself are a god. But if you are a man... now, that is the stuff that sagas are made of.
What else do your wise priests do?
Lacan the Ruined Wolf once shared the mysteries of the healing potions and the secrets of magic sagas. He taught them to see the past and future in thrown runes, to call down storms, and to carve powerful talismans.
I mean, also that sounds like heresy. Law Warp succeeded. I suddenly feel a whisper of something menacing radiating from Ulfar. A necklace of various formidable-looking teeth hangs around his neck, and the teeth are carved with intricate runes. There's some Psyker power at work? Or even worse, some warp madness. And Edward points at the wolf necklace Ulfar's wearing.
Is that a powerful charm?
The All-Father gifted you with strong intuition. This was made by Skadi Twice-Thinker. The spirits liked him, and one could feast a whole long Hellwinter night to the words of his saga. So keen was his mind. He was my friend.
But it's still... What is it? How's it working? Ulfar's face, lit a moment ago with ruthless pride, seems to darken as if shadow passed across it.
You spoke of names that give you strength.
Ulfar Redmane. That is what my brothers call me.
What is your name in that case?
What's the question? Correct me. I wonder why. Given the warrior's boastful nature, the indifference with which he reveals his name is surprising. It seems he does not trust you enough to disclose his true name. Interesting. I didn't expect him to be so distrustful. But I mean, maybe it's just this place, right? Would make sense to be not very revealing and trusting around here.
I understand.
Do you? And there I was, about to round off my story with a short 400-verse saga about the gifts of Lacan the Ruined Wolf.
Free to tell me.
My curiosity has been satisfied.
Should what I told you reach other ears, I shall take your tongue.
Ulfar leans towards you, and with a friendly, only slightly feral grin, he said, "Okay."
If I may ask, cause it's unconventional, why do you devour your enemies?
Why do you think?
The giant space marine grins, baring his teeth, and inquires innocently. I don't know, I mean, given the whole wolfy demeanor, I guess it's like making the most of it? Medicaid succeeded. The Omophaga is clearly involved here, the genetic gift granted to the Astartes by the Emperor. This organ links the brain and stomach of a space marine, allowing him to absorb information from the genetic code of any flesh he consumes. I just want to point out, your brain is always linked to your stomach. But anyway.
It has to do with the Omophaga, yes?
You are very well informed. Far more than a common mortal ought to be. Yes, it is true that I have gorged on the flesh of my enemies to reap the secrets from the steaming flavor of their meat. I have slain many Xenos and feasted on their flesh. My captors have watched me do it and taken glee in it, while I have been gathering information and planning my escape.
Interesting. But I don't think he is going to share what he knows. Curious. Interesting that kind of links Space Marines from 40K to elves in DOS 2. Oh well.
So, how did you end up here?
What do you want to know? What brought the Space Wolves to the Expanse? Or how I ended up in the non-human's Dark City?
Why not both? But let's start at the beginning.
Why did you come to the Koronus Expanse?
An Inquisitor by the name of Calcazar put out a call for aid. My Wolf Lord did not refuse him, and had 2 packs deployed to the Expanse. We never trusted this ally, but a blood debt for a service rendered in the past forced our hand.
Interesting that they don't trust the Inquisition. I would love to know why. Lore Imperium succeeded. I think we're currently quite lucky with our rolls. Though it wields immense power, when it comes to the Astartes, even the Inquisition chooses to make requests rather than commands. The Space Wolves are known for being close allies of the Inquisition. Are not known to be close allies of the Inquisition. How strange, then, that the chapter sent not 1, but 2 squads in response to his request, when 1 squad alone is capable of crushing planetary uprising. I wonder what that debt was. Probably something very serious.
So, 2 packs, just like that. The Space Wolf must have taken this request very seriously.
Insightful.
I'll try my
We'd
best.
had no dealings with this Calcazar before this, and we did not trust him.
I thought he was talking about a debt.
packs meant twice as many eyes to watch out for his games and schemes. And then...
But a blood debt for a service rendered in the past forced our hand. Interesting. So just something in general regarding the Inquisition?
The Koronus Expanse is a wild hunting ground teeming with prey. And the Space Wolves will be the first to turn its snow scarlet. The Jarl decided to send the most indomitable hunters who hunger for honor and bloodshed. 1 pack would have fulfilled its duty for the sake of pride, but 2 would seek to outdo each other for the sake of glory.
So, what debt did you owe the Inquisitor?
He saved our brother who had lost the pack and was unable to look after himself or the chapter's honor. Calcazar returned our brother to Fenris and kept secret the misfortune that had befallen him. The Jarl knew that the Inquisitor's actions were driven by opportunism, and the desire to have us mighty warriors in his debt. But honor forced him to be hospitable to the stranger, and swear an oath of friendship.
Probably always just playing tactical games, the Inquisition, right?
So, why did the Space Wolves not trust the Lord Inquisitor?
The Inquisition. Pah! Rats scurrying around the Allfather's house and ruling it in the Master's absence. Cowards they are. The last into battle, but the first on any war council. We saw what they were worth in the months of shame.
The Month of Shame. I wonder what that is. Huh. You know the story. After the first war for Armageddon, in which the Space Wolves and the forces of Armageddon fought off the terrifying incursion of the arch-enemy, the Inquisition ordered that the heinous event be covered up, and the planet's mortal defenders be thrown into labor camps and sterilized. Yikes. The Wolves defended their erstwhile comrades and evacuated many people to Fenris. The confrontation ended in a bloody massacre, and the courts of the Inquisition have not appeared in Fenris' system ever since. Yeah, we definitely do not trust Xavier, so I'm definitely not going to say that I trust him.
I do not trust Calcazar. He is suspicious.
We also decided to be cautious. His words flowed like honey, and he seemed an honorable man. But lies always look like truth, don't they?
The good ones definitely do.
That arrogant chief thought he could give us orders. But we wolves have always followed our own instincts and hunted in our own way. I wager that boiled his blood.
What do you know about Xavier Calcazar's plans and objectives? Anything interesting?
In warm furs, the old man does shroud his body. In cloaks of secrets woven, shrouds the sly man his plans. To know his dire purpose, swallow not the words of poison, but his gristle.
If I had 50 cents for every time I meet someone in Komorra who's talking verses, I would have $1, but it's weird that it happened twice. Oh well. Nocturne and Ulfar, best buddies.
Alright, so how did you end up a captive after all that mess?
We also didn't really get to know what his mission was, right?
We had gone on a raid for Xenos prisoners and fell into a trap. We had no war machines to support us, and some of our squad were wounded, so we were forced to retreat. I ordered my battle brothers to leave, but I remained behind to meet our guests. I do not know how many of the feeble wretches I slew, but I would have killed even more had their towering piles of bodies not hindered me in combat.
Doesn't sound too different to our capture story.
They wounded me and captured me. They froze the joints in my armor. When they dragged me to their ship, 2 of my battle brothers descended up the Xenos and tried to free me. An insane plan, but it almost succeeded. Almost. And so there were 3 of us taken captive. And then there were 2. And then I was alone once again.
Ooh.
I'm sorry they died.
Yes, so am I.
I think it would be impossible to hug Ulfar, so pat on the knee.
Tell me about your time in Komorra.
These are dark days you are asking about, Edvater.
Current days, I guess.
Let my keen-edged friend be a witness to the ferocity of my words.
Ulfar lets out a rumbling sigh, draws out the rune-covered knife that you saw him carry in the Dark City, and begins to spin it between his fingers, finding his equilibrium again. You saw him carry in the Dark City? That kind of sounds like we escaped. We're still here, unfortunately.
I was given to Tarvantius for his amusement. In the arenas of Komorra, Astartes are a rarity. And he sent me out there to kill gladiators.
Every word the bitterness and hostility
As an
grew.
inglorious butcher and a Xenos' puppet, I hated it constantly, every moment. I had to take care of my mind before it was twisted to the 7 hells.
That's the interesting part. In the beginning I thought it was maybe like more unhinged or feral due to the imprisonment. I don't think so. I think it's just Space Wolves for you.
Every morning I made entreaties to the All-Father, and every night I appealed to Russ. I trained my body, read the litanies, and in the darkest moments I recited my own saga. I recalled every battle,
did in the cage.
every wound, every brother. And that is how I survived. I always survive.
Sounds kind of lonely.
I see.
This was a bleak saga, Edvater.
Answer a few questions about yourself.
What a nice way to ask about him.
The storm
no,
is
no.
coming. The Krakens are rising from the depths for a bloody feast. And you want to leave your Drakkar without its best oarsmen.
I misclicked and I clicked on...
I no longer wish to see you in my retinue.
Of course not.
You are right. Where would I be without my first oarsman? Forget what I just said.
You enjoy telling jokes,
Thanks,
I
game.
see. I do as well.
I'm very happy the game gives you actually a second chance. Like, BG3 doesn't give you that safety net. Okay, back to the question about himself.
Instinct bids me to remain silent. Such knowledge is not to be shared with just anyone. Only those who possess my complete trust.
Alpha sucks in a breath, tasting your scent. Okay, we have to work to get your trust. I mean, once we make it out alive, we should have his trust, right? And betray us, Ulfar.
I must take my leave.
Fenris Hylda, Edvater.
Maiden Commander goes off. Oh well. Alrighty. So let's go for the little chat with now we can level up Heinrix. Let's do that first. And after that we're going off for our little chat with the Drukhari. Create an opening. I think we're going to take that one. Yeah. And probably more perception, since we can't increase agility. Now we could also go for a little bit more weapon skill. Alright, that was fast. I like our Space Marine. Really cool companion so far. I wonder how he's working in battle, especially with like being quite chunky on the battlefield with 2x2. But yeah, we'll see. And I mean, also using versatility.
I always have a backup plan.
I don't know. At least for Heinrix, I really didn't like that. But maybe I can adjust to that. Pause. Is there... we see something? Maybe we should also change our formation. Formation. Yeah, Argenta definitely shouldn't be in the front. Pasqal can be... I wouldn't put Pasqal into the complete front, more like a little bit behind. Then we have that. Everyone on Argenta and our sniper in the back. Why do I always press on reset? I hate it. I think in... I don't know. You can look that up. I can't. I think in Wrath of the Righteous you had always to apply down here. Because I don't know, it is so imprinted to click on that button at the end. Oh well. Maybe I'm just stupid. Okay. You two up here. Cal. Edward. Argenta. Here we go. And we do not press on reset. Since we smart. Sometimes.
Is there money to be made?
Alright. Anatomical opera. I mean, the Mechanitor was actually quite... well, I wouldn't say nice, but he gave us Heinrix back, and he gave us Ulfar. That's more than I expected in the beginning.